After 50, are you in the club at work? In my experience, most of us aren't, and it's not because we're not good at our jobs. Sometimes you can walk into work every day, surrounded by people, and still feel like an outsider. I saw it happening while I was still working, but I didn't fully understand it until after I lost my job. It doesn't happen overnight. At first, you think you're part of the team. You show up, you do your job, try to fit in. But over time, you start to notice the patterns. New people join, and you hear, "Oh, we used to work together at X." Or, "She's my cousin's friend." Inside jokes, shared stories, references to places and times you weren't part of. You realize there's a history here, a web of connections you're not part of. In my last role, it felt like I'd walked into a club I was never really going to join. For me, it was a girls' club. Most of my team had worked together before, or they were friends outside of work, or even family. I wasn't completely left out, but I was never really in. My ideas were heard, and sometimes were even acted on. But when it came to the best projects, the opportunities, the stretch assignments, they would always seem to go to someone in the club. Sometimes it felt like politics, sometimes like helping friends. Sometimes maybe they doubted I could do it, but honestly, I think it was mostly about looking out for each other. And I get it. If you've worked with someone for years, you trust them. But if you're not part of that circle, you're always on the outside looking in. There was another layer too. My team was, on average, 25 years younger than me. Out of 16 people, only one other man. The company talked a lot about equality, but in reality, there was a clear divide. I didn't relate to the same references, the same jokes, the same after-work events. I'd walk into a meeting and feel like I was speaking a different language. It's not that anyone was unkind, but I was never going to be one of the girls, and I was never going to be 30 again. I used to believe that if I just worked hard, delivered results, and kept my head down, that would be enough. But the rules changed. It wasn't about what I knew. It was about who knew me, who trusted me, who had history with me, who saw me as one of us. And when you're not part of that, you start to feel like you're just there. Not disliked, not ignored, just not really seen. You start to notice the lunch groups you've never invited to, the after-work drinks you hear about the next day, the projects that go to someone else, even when you know you could do them. You wonder if you're imagining it. But when the cuts come, when the company restructures, you're the easy choice. Not because you're not good at your job, but because you're not part of the family. And it's not just about work. It's about belonging. It's about feeling like you matter, like you're part of something bigger than yourself. When you're younger, you have time to build those networks. You can join the softball team, go to happy hours, move from job to job, collect connections. But after 50, you might be the new person in a room full of people who've known each other for decades. And the younger workers? They're building their own networks. You're not part of their future. You start to realize that no matter how good you are, you're always starting from behind. You can't make up for 20 years of shared history in a few months or even a few years. I'm not saying nepotism is new, but it feels different now. It feels more accepted, more out in the open. We talk about hiring the best person for the job, but behind the scenes, it's still, who do you know? And if you're not part of that web, you're starting from behind. Looking back, I can see the signs. The quiet conversations that stopped when I walked in. The projects that went to someone else. The feeling of being present but not included. I wish I'd understood it sooner, but maybe I didn't want to see it. it wears on you. You start to question your value, your relevance, your place in the world. You wonder if you're just being paranoid or if you're really invisible. You start to pull back, stop volunteering ideas, stop reaching out, and that just makes it worse. It's a quiet ache, not a crisis, but it's there. And when the job goes, you realize how much of your identity was tied to being part of something, even if you never really belonged. I don't have a solution. I'm not sure there is one. But if you're over 50 and you feel like you're on the outside, you're not imagining it. You're not broken. You're just not part of the family. And that's not your fault. Maybe the answer isn't to keep trying to break in. Maybe it's to find a place where you don't have to. Cheers.
Empower over 50 now. Stand up tall and take your bow. Feel the rhythm, feel the power. This is your triumphant hour.